Today on the Brock Matherne Show, we look back at a big Week 3 win over Sam Houston. We highlight our players of the week. We look ahead to Denham Springs, and we check in on our sub-varsity and middle school teams. We wrap things up with our new mail segment and Ask Brock. Welcome to the Brock Matherne Show, your weekly all-access pass to EA football. And now, with your host Eric Brownfield, is head coach Brock Matherne.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Matherne Show, here with Coach Brock Matherne. Coach, we ask you this every week. How you doing? We had some rain this week, dealt with some weather, some lightning issues. How's that affecting what's going on?
First off, I'm doing good. Always good to get a win. Makes the week a little bit easier. Weather was an issue this week, but look, shout out to my guy, Coach Jones, that's now back at St. Louis, that was with us last year, because I think I make him mad every time weather comes. He worked with me for 4 years, and as long as it's not lightning, we're going to practice. You never know what game you'll get rain, and you don't want to not be prepared for it. I know, look, it's miserable for everybody being out there in the rain. It's a lot more fun when you're playing than coaching in the rain.
Sure.
But, look, if I'm going to preach to the kids, control what you can control. If it's raining and we got an opportunity to go out and practice, we're going to go practice.
Absolutely. I heard that Tim Detillier at Lutcher would go all summer with soaked balls. Like every football quarterback would throw all summer would be soaked in water. They'd leave them in like a bucket or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be prepared for those situations because you can't control it. And if it happens, I mean, look at us, what that was, Salmon game.
Right.
Rain comes out of nowhere, and it's like, luckily we practiced in some storms so far this offseason and a little bit into the season.
And literally nowhere. Only Prairieville and EA were affected by that in the whole area. That was the only storms in the entire Baton Rouge area that night. All right, so our game recap here. We're looking at the Sam Houston game first here. So we're going to look back at a thrilling win there, a little come from behind, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, complete opposite of the first 2 weeks.
Let's see. Oh, let me go back. That's going to be a little special part at the end there. There we go. All right. So we're going to start off here with a not a normal kind of play here. If we can get this to, let's see, is this going to work here for us? What's going on here?
Well, you know Huddle does his own thing every now and
then. Right. Let's see here. Hopefully this time it's going to keep rolling. Let's see. There we go. All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, not your normal play right here.
Yeah, and I seen Coach Dane work this, and I tell you, Coach Dane likes to run his offense. And anytime he comes up with a trick play, I'm sitting there going, this is probably gonna work. And I seen him run it, I believe, on Wednesday of practice or Thursday, and I got to tell our two announcers on the live feed, just hold what you got. We got some fireworks coming here shortly.
We're struggling to get this up here. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Let me see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out of here real quick.
No technical issue.
Yeah, we'll get through that. Let's see if I can get it to work just out here. If not, let's see if I can. Okay, let's see if we can. Here we go. Okay, let's see if this will work now for us. Maybe I might have to do it myself here. Okay, we'll do it that way. All right, so we'll kind of slow-mo this. Walk through this for us here, Coach.
Yeah, so we run a good bit of speed option and just realized that Gotro had a pretty good arm. Ran him into orbit motion, pitched him the ball. We felt like Sam Houston was going to be extremely aggressive on defense, which they were all night. They did a great job. And we took advantage of that aggressiveness with a little double pass here. And, kudos to our coaches, to the players for the execution of it, making sure. Because, look, last year we ran this week 1 versus Brother Martin and overthrew Justin Oob just a little bit to start the game.
Right.
So, all that execution in the backfield is important, but it's extremely important to hit that wide open receiver.
And you got it when you see that corner and safety both looking in the backfield. That's when you know, oh, my goodness.
And everybody wants to think that that's a good feeling. You just it's not your normal quarterback throwing the ball. So you kind of just clinched up like, I hope he gets it to him.
And Joe did a great job on that.
But no, Sam Houston had some momentum starting off right there, and that was a big play for us to get us back rolling. And then, look, this guy's been coming up with some big plays all year long so far. No, he doesn't catch 10 balls a game because we use him a lot in blocking, but his catches are usually extremely big for us. man, it was good to have this kid back.
Absolutely.
Jason Blackburn with some of the most important plays of the game. Didn't play his normal amount of snaps, but in limited snaps, he made a huge impact. I just love watching this kid get the ball.
Oh, man, every time. And it's a track meet every time.
He's special. When you get him in open space, he could do some special things. And his growth, man, I'm just extremely happy about that. And there he goes again. I thought he could have stayed in bounds and scored that thing, but I think that's going to come with his more reps. The more reps he gets, the more special that kid's going to be.
Here's a look at defense here in the second half. Big stop here on third down.
I mean, as a defensive guy, you love seeing that amount of blue jerseys on the ball. You know, that to us, that's the winning difference is all these guys flying to the ball, taking good pursuit angles. Effort is the number one core value of this defense. Is the first thing we talk about, and those guys running to the ball. That makes me happy. And
when you got to watch the film to find out who made the tackle, that's always a good thing.
It's always a good thing. When I hear you up there wondering who tackled him, I know we're doing something.
That's right. Host of Spartans, man. That's what I like to say. Because when I say that means we got some pursuit. We're there. You never like it when you can tell exactly who made it.
No doubt. McCarty there with a big-time run. And, look, I thought both teams played hard. That was a good game for us. I've been saying this all offseason and going into the season. The more adversity this group can deal with and beat it, the better we're going to be as the season goes on. And what I told him at halftime, I wouldn't want it any other way, right? We want to play this way. We got an opportunity to come from behind in the second half, and we go out there with a second half shutout. And, offense, I know the offense wasn't pleased with the way they performed, but they came up big in the biggest moments.
Right. And this huge moment right here, up 18-14, Sam Houston with a chance to win the game with a drive here. First of all, we pin them back, and then they got to go 89 yards, and this is what happens.
Man, you talk about between the block punt and this moment right here to just know that we put it away, and what better kid to go finish it off 2 weeks in a row, getting a pick six, and you see how happy everybody is on the sideline. I think for the community, when you see that and you look at our sideline and you see coaches hugging each other and chest bumping and the kids coming off and we hugging each other, I think the biggest message is you see how hard we work in moments like this. And when we're able to take victory and we know it's finished and we make a big play like that in that situation, it's just all that hard work from the week coming to fruition. And it's really like a breath of fresh air until you get the kids out the locker room and you realize you got Denham Springs coming in there next week.
Right. So before we move on to Denham, our players of the week, this is a little bit unique. I don't know how many teams do this, but it makes sense for us right now. So the offensive player of the week is Dawson Landry. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I mean, I go to each side of the ball and ask them, each phase of the game, ask them who they have for their player of the week. And offense felt like they didn't perform to their standard. First time for me, I laughed when it happened. But Dawson Landry is just like the ultimate team player. Whatever it takes for the team, he's willing to do, and he works his tail off. And for him to get this again this week, no one more deserving, and then ultimately second touchdown in 2 weeks, and seals the game for us with a huge play. There's nothing more anxious than being up less than a score, less than a touchdown, and they have the ball last, and you take that thing away and go seal the game. That's a big moment,
especially after what they did right before halftime. They could strike fast if they get something dialed up.
No doubt. And then Tony Miles, I thought, played with his hair on fire, led us in tackles, and had some really big hits on their running back. And I thought really made the opposing team tap with the physicality that he played with. And then Javon Javius having that huge block punt, the momentum from that block punt really turned us around. And that's another kid similar to Dawson. Don't talk much, but he's giving you everything he has every single snap. And I really think by the end of the season, he's going to be on a lot of college teams' radar to go play cornerback with the length and size he has and the ability that he has. He's one of the most talented kids I've been around.
Well, he's going to have some people to go up against here in the next couple months here to prove himself. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. And we have our team MVP of the week.
Yeah, this was a cool scenario. Look, I'm the coach that does the team MVP, and I gave it to Jason Blackburn because he wasn't selfish about wanting to get more reps. Knew that he got cleared on Thursday to play, so we limited his reps because of not having a week of practice, and made the most of every single rep that he got. But the thing I was most impressed with was, as a returning all-district kick returner, returning all-district running back, when we're on defense, he's running up and down the sidelines, getting the sideline hype, telling them to cheer on their teammates, and then comes in on Monday's practice and asks me, Coach, I'd like to give my team MVP chain away. I believe someone else deserves it more, and gives it to Jamarius McCarty for stepping in and helping us win these 2 games, and rushing for over 100 yards in 2 of the 3 games. I thought that showed what we're building here, this Ascension, a team atmosphere. And when he decided to do that, I had no idea. He just asked me to talk to the team at the end of practice, and proud moment as the head football coach.
Certainly. Doesn't come as a surprise for him either.
No, for sure.
That sounds right along his brand. All right, so here we go. We enter District 5, 5A play, which will be in the rest of the regular season besides one little trip to Lafayette. So we got the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets with Coach Brett Beard coming up here this Friday.
Yeah, Coach Beard, one of my good friends in this profession. Respect the heck out of him and what he does with his program. We got very similar mindsets. We want to be physical football teams. I said this earlier, we might have a difference in age, but we have the same old school mindset. We want to play old school football, and our goals each week are the same, as we want to make the other team tap. So he's built this program right. I think he has 43 seniors on his team.
Yes.
Look, a really, really good football program. Our toughest test yet. This district is tough, and this is a tough one to start off with. But as I told him yesterday, and same thing he reciprocated to me, we're not running from competition, and we'll be there to meet them head on come Friday night, and let's see what happens in 48 minutes. Let the chips fall where they may, but I know that's a good football team, and it's going to be a war on Burnside on Friday night.
And it has been every year since 2022 when we came back into the district together there. That was every one has been a fight, very much so. And you can see there they've got some key players, a guy you might recognize from Live Oak a couple of years ago, number 44, Hayden Ray at tight end. Of course, 5, Brenton Paul was their player of the week last week, and he can move. Yeah,
look, they are extremely explosive on offense. They use that big old 44, similar to how we use Bryson Martinez. He's a dangerous player, a really good football player. From what Coach Beard tells me, he's a really good kid. But 5, extremely explosive quarterback, probably the best we've seen so far. And maybe one of the best we see all year.
Yeah.
He's a talented individual and has a twin brother at receiver that's another talented high school football player. Defense is scrappy, one of the best front sevens we're going to play all season long. So, like I said, they're talented, but I think we're talented too. And if we come in with the right mindset and we play one play at a time for 48 minutes, I think we'll be pleased with the outcome at the end of the game.
There you go. Of course, led by the Goldman twins there, who are also all-state basketball players.
Yeah, watching them on a basketball court, they are smooth.
Man, and you can tell there's a connection. And you always hate to see a quarterback-receiver connection like that.
Yeah, that's 2 kids that I wish would be, they'd be basketball specific.
Right. Yeah, maybe they need to focus on that. It would be great if they made that decision Thursday.
Yeah,
let's
maybe
just try to win a state championship.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness! All right, so of course, yesterday on Tuesday, freshmen in JV went across the river to take on the Yellow Jackets. Had a little bit of rain there early in that freshman game, but you can see the results on the screen. 2 more losses there for the sub-varsity teams, but multiple scores. A lot of times in these kind of games, extra points, 2-point versions, that you almost rather look at touchdowns versus touchdowns.
Yeah.
And of course that we ran out a little bit late in that JV game there. It was close at the end there and had a turnover very late there with a chance to win there.
Well, I thought both teams, look, we're not getting the results that we want when it comes to wins and losses, but I see improvement each week. Starting with the 9th grade team, being down 16-0 early. I want to say it was first 4 or 5 minutes, they jumped up 16-0 on us. And the way that the kids kept fighting, had a big 4th down stop in the 4th quarter to get the offense the ball back. Went for an onside kick. And look, we're a 2-point conversion away from having it a 1-score game, and that stop would have been a big difference than being down 10. But overall, proud with the way that our kids are growing in that 9th grade group. And then JV, I thought, fought to the very end, started off a little lackadaisical, little long trip there, had to wait for the 9th grade game to finish. So started off the game slow, but as the game went on, I thought they played extremely well. And like you said, we had a chance on the final drive to go down there and win the game. Had a big stop that forced the safety from that punt team to make it 20-16. And when we got the ball back in good field position, put together a little drive, and then on 4th down ended with an interception. So wasn't happy about the result, but extremely happy with the development of those kids.
It's tough, especially for JV. Those guys practice for an hour and a half, grab a sandwich, get on the bus, sit for an hour and a half. You know, it's not easy.
I think the thing these days, these kids call themselves is JV Warriors or something like that. But it's true, man. You go out there and you scout team for the varsity, and then you hurry up, get in the locker room, grab a jersey, grab a sandwich and some chips, and get on the bus and go play a full-quarter football game. I guess a tough spot to be in, but that's all guys that we're going to be counting on in the future of this program.
Absolutely. All right, so our middle school minute here, Gonzales was on a bye, so they remain undefeated, and they got a big game tomorrow at Dutchtown versus the Dutchtown. I'm drawing a blank here. The Eagles. They're the Eagles in the middle school there, because the Griffins are Eagles and Tigers, I think, put together. I think that, or Panthers, or
that one confuses me.
Yeah, I still can't get that right.
One confuses
me. But they're the Eagles, and that should be a good game tomorrow at Dutchtown. So good luck with that one. That's a late start, huh? 6:30 it looks like.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Mike and the Bulldogs. I know he has them ready to go, and a big game. If you don't have anything going on and you're a Bulldog supporter, get over there to Dutchtown, cheer these guys on, and let's remain undefeated.
Absolutely. Speaking of undefeated, Central went across the river.
Yes.
Defeated Lowry at Dawsonville last Thursday. So, man, we got to be feeling good about that.
Yeah, man. They got a couple of the kids that show up every Friday to the games. We let them, hang around the team and hang around the coaches. And I got to talk to one of them about the game. Very pleased with that group. Again, Coach does a great job with them. They're one of the most organized middle school teams that I've been around in all my years of coaching, especially since I've been a head coach. I mean, they run a first-class program over there, and we know when we get those kids, they're going to be ready for the things that we're going to throw at them. And, man, just proud of them bouncing back. Look, young team, like I said the last 2 episodes, from the previous year, and you can see the experience in that group. So, good things happening here in Gonzales, and excited about the future of the Spartans with the way that both of these programs are putting their teams together and developing them, and both of them undefeated right here. So that's a good sign for all of the city of Gonzales.
Absolutely, and you look about a month ahead. Of course, we don't like doing that stuff as coaches, but you look about a month ahead, you could have a very interesting EA Super Bowl coming up there at the end of October. We'll leave it at that. We don't want to jinx anything, but you never know.
It could be a big one.
That
with some
could
big,
be
big,
a huge one.
Yeah, for sure.
So we look forward to hosting that one at Spartan Stadium. So let's see. So tomorrow, Central will take on Lake at EA. So home game for Central, their second home game. Been a while, been 2 weeks since they've been at Spartan Stadium. So they'll get that turf warmed up for us tomorrow versus the Lake Lions.
Yeah, let's get out there, cheer these guys on. Same as for Gonzales. Let's cheer them on the victory. Remain undefeated. I know myself and some of the coaches will be out there tomorrow to check out the future of the Spartans.
Absolutely. All right, so we have a new segment. We had a new segment last week. We got a new segment this week as well, plus the segment from last week. So this is Coach Brock's mailbag. So Coach is checking the mail, and we got some mail this week. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask you. We're going to put an email address in the description of the video. So if you check that description down below there, you can email your questions to Coach Brock, and we'll choose one every week, and he'll answer it. So this is the question this week. So it's, Dear Coach Matherne, riding the defensive wave of momentum into the first district game, what will be the biggest challenge for the Spartans as they face Denham Springs this week?
Well, one, look, we try, and I say try because we're dealing with high school kids, of burying the last week, learning from it. Of course, we're happy with the momentum and the victory, but this is a new week, new team. We have things we have to work on and get better at if we're gonna open up district with a win. But I think the biggest thing when you riding that wave of momentum, when you play well in the second half on defense and you come back and win that game, is just not getting complacent. I think it's easy when you get 2 victories in a row, 3 victories in a row, where the outside noise starts to creep in and people start to tell you how good you are and all this other stuff, where it's like we're nowhere near where we want to be at. So it's really just how can we show up every day when we get out of bed, think about how can I make East Ascension football better? How can I get better as an individual? And I think the biggest thing for us defensively is just remaining fundamentally to our assignments, doing our job. I think our coaching staff does a great job game planning, putting a plan together for the opposing team. And now it's about us going to execute it. And then at the end of the day, for us, what I'm preaching to the kids is this game is not as hard as we make it out to be. For us on defense, as long as we can tackle, not give up the big play, make teams earn it, I like our chances. So momentum-wise, we in that coach's office and in the field house, we don't feel like we have momentum. We feel like this is an opportunity to go compete. It's a new week. We put the last week to bed. How do we get better this week to make sure that we could go get victory on Friday night?
All right. Thank you, Coach. So, Chadwick, thank you for your question. And like I said, check the description below, look at that email, and send us a question for next week. All right. So, finally, we have Ask Brock. Okay.
Man.
Let me go back over the rules of this again. One of those 16 guys up there you see on the screen looks like mugshots. They especially they're black and white. That doesn't look good.
Oh, man.
One of these 16 guys submitted a question for me to ask you on air here. So here we go. No further ado. The question is, why do they call you the sheriff?
Oh, man. That's an easy answer. I was a little nervous for this. That was easy. Look, I played cornerback in high school. So, sheriff locks people up, puts them in jail. When you see number 1 my senior year, number 8 out there, my freshman through junior year, I was locking people up. It was easy. The sheriff, baby.
Well, there you go. Not so bad, right? Not so bad. All right, so we got Denham Springs Friday night on Burnside, the 4th straight home game, and that will be on EA TV. The last game on EA TV. Rev takes back over starting next week with homecoming against Live Oak. So next week we'll be seeing y'all in the middle of homecoming week and all that.
Ooh.
All that, yeah, parade and all that stuff.
I can promise you I'll be a little bit more gray in the beard and the head.
All right, so any final words here as we're looking forward to Friday night against the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, look, the kids are excited. They're working extremely hard. Coaching staff's working extremely hard. Come out to Burnside. I feel like our kids are benefiting from the home field atmosphere. I thought the fans was great in the Sam Houston game. This is a big game. We're going to need y'all. Come out there to Burnside. Let's pack the stadium out and be loud, be proud, and go Big Blue.
There you go. All right. So you heard it from Coach. This is Eric Brownfield for Coach Matherne. Thank you for joining us on the Brock Matherne Show. And until next time, go Spartans.
Hey, 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 hey.